Reform UK has just launched a fierce challenge to Labour and the Liberal Democrats, sparking a political firestorm. At the centre of the storm is Sir Keir Starmer, visibly rattled by the bold new strategy from Richard Tice and Nigel Farage. After years of left-wing politicians loudly championing open borders and refugee policies, Reform UK has finally called their bluff, and their response is uncompromising. Richard Tice has declared a war on illegal immigration, not with empty promises or slogans, but with decisive action. In a recent fiery interview, Tice revealed that Reform UK is using legal authority at the local government level to block migrant housing in every council they control. But it doesn't stop there. They're threatening to send these migrants directly to constituencies held by the Lib Dems and Greens. The message is clear. If these parties are so passionate about open borders and immigration, they can take responsibility for housing those migrants themselves. This is not mere political posturing. It's a calculated policy move, beginning with Lincolnshire, now under Reform UK control. Tice confirmed that legal teams are already deployed to shut down asylum hotels in reform-run areas. When asked where the migrants should be placed, his answer was sharp and politically explosive. Send them to the councils that voted for pro-immigration policies, the so-called virtue signalers who have ignored the will of voters for years. This tactic echoes the approach that Texas Governor Greg Abbott took by busing migrants from the U.S. southern border to Democratic-run sanctuary cities. Now a similar political boomerang is being thrown at the British left. The left is unprepared for this direct challenge. It disrupts their long-standing narrative and exposes their inaction. Unlike Labour's photo-op politics and evasive promises, Reform UK is demonstrating true political courage. The Labour Party's silence is telling. They know they've long ignored working-class communities burdened by uncontrolled immigration, placing asylum seekers into towns without consent, and dismissing opposition as xenophobia. Tice also criticized the Conservatives for their 14-year failure to manage immigration effectively. Why wasn't this approach used when the Tories were in power? His answer is blunt, because they never truly wanted to control the borders. The Conservatives' tough rhetoric masked an open-door policy, and the public is no longer buying it. This growing disillusionment explains Reform UK's rising popularity and the wave of voters shifting allegiance, not to Labour or the Lib Dems, but to Nigel Farage's insurgent movement. Reform UK is demanding drastic changes, scrapping the Human Rights Act, leaving the European Convention on Human Rights, speeding up processing of illegal migrants, and using basic accommodations such as tents instead of luxury hotels. If such conditions are good enough for the British military, they should suffice for those entering the country illegally. Farage, the quiet force behind Reform UK's strategy, is orchestrating this legal and political offensive to dismantle the left's open borders ideology. By forcing the Greens and Lib Dems to take responsibility for migrants they champion, Reform UK is ending the practice of dumping migrants in conservative areas while left-wing leaders' virtue being signal behind their gated communities. Additionally, Reform UK is taking the fight to the courts, challenging the Home Office's migrant placements in reform-controlled councils. The message is unequivocal. Reform will not comply. Starmer and Lib Dem leader Ed Davey, who have long ignored voter concerns, are now facing a harsh political reckoning. Meanwhile, whispers of panic are spreading through Westminster. Conversations between Reform UK and key Tory figures like Jacob Rees-Mogg hint at shifting allegiances. Despite Nigel Farage not having formally announced his political return, Reform UK is already reshaping British politics. Beyond immigration, Richard Tice is also attacking the cultural rot in Britain's institutions. He condemned the arrest of a police officer for possessing Brexit-supporting materials like The Spectator and Douglas Murray's books, a sign of the thought police mentality embraced by Labour. While Labour turns a blind eye, Reform UK vows to pursue justice against grooming gangs and local corruption through inquiries, prosecutions, and judicial reviews. Starmer, by contrast, continues to dodge calls for a national inquiry, fearing what might be uncovered. And Starmer now faces an internal crisis, following his astonishing U-turn on immigration. From open borders advocate to tough-talking immigration critic, key Labour figures are openly questioning his leadership. Senior Labour MPs like Angela Rayner, David Lammy, and Yvette Cooper have long supported pro-immigration policies. They are struggling to back Starmer's sudden shift, which resembles a political betrayal. Behind the scenes, a mutiny is brewing. Starmer is accused of abandoning the principles he championed, with some MPs even likening his new stance to that of far-right politician Enoch Powell. This ideological flip-flop is damaging the party's cohesion and credibility. To make matters worse for Labour, on the same day as Starmer's speech, 600 illegal migrants arrived in the UK. This reality undermines the new tough immigration Weedon stance, which experts say will barely reduce numbers. As Cooper herself admitted, the proposed changes would only cut immigration by about 50,000 annually out of over 1 million arrivals. Nothing more than political window dressing. Reform UK's bold actions have set the stage for a seismic shift in British politics. Starmer's carefully crafted image is unraveling, his party fracturing from within, while Farage and Tice are rallying voters with clear.